Hey everyone, welcome back to the Valencia Career Mode. It's Season 2, Episode 5, and as usual now we'll go over a little bit of a tactical analysis before we start the episode, looking back at the previous episode and just seeing what went wrong, seeing what we can do better. So I felt like despite the results, which were not really good, we lost a few games there in the last episode, we actually played decently well in certain respects. This Villarreal game, for example, I really thought we had a good amount of possession. It was free-flowing, good, crisp passes, it felt good. But looking at the statistics, there's definitely some things we could have done better. So you can see 7 shots, 2.9 expected goals. In a dominant system like we're using, even though it's an away game against Villarreal, I would love that to be a little bit higher. If you look at the possession heat map, it's there, right? High 60s possession in the first half, a little bit lower in the second, but we do have the majority of the ball like we want to, but we're a little bit too far removed from that final third. We really want to press them and suffocate them. That's what the goal is. We were pressed a little bit too far back, and I know it's difficult to have possession and dominate like this when teams defend higher up, but if they're defending higher up, then there's certain other things, openings that happen. Play a little bit faster, increase the tempo, and make sure the penetration is there. We didn't necessarily do that against Villarreal as much as I would have liked. We got the 2 goals, and that was great, but we also lost 2 because we didn't have enough possession to suffocate, and they were able to get those counter opportunities, get those 2 goals. Now, it was an even worse situation, to be honest, against Celta Vigo. 6 shots, 2.4 expected goals. At home against Celta Vigo, that's definitely not acceptable, guys. And the possession heat map, again, against a lesser team like this, a little bit higher up. I know I'm asking a lot, but a little bit higher up and a little bit more lit up would be nice. You can see, even though the possession is now in the 70s, it's a little bit empty because it's side-to-side passing. What we need is more penetration, more creativity from our best midfielders. That's what's going to get us the goals. Even if that possession drops a little bit more risk-taking if we want to get a little bit more goals. And that wasn't a problem early on in the season, but now it's sort of materializing. Now, the game against Real Madrid, it's a little bit of a different story because it was a tale of 2 halves. You've got one where we knew coming in that first half is going to be a defensive effort, and if we're in the game, we're going to go for it in the second half. And we did, and that's where the majority of the shots and expected goals came from once that midfield was clicking in that 3-4-3 diamond. So I'm not going to look too much at the Real game because it was a little bit awkward, and these games never produce a situation where you have an overwhelming amount of possession. They're a really good team. They're going to have the ball, right? We ended off the episode against Real Sociedad, and this was a successful game. We brought in our loanees, the extra pace from Musa on the right-hand side. I underestimated that. That is a massive help, and we did really well here, guys. 14 shots, 7 expected goals, and the possession heat map is a little bit more like I wanted, a little bit more in that final third. And even though you can see the possession is slightly down in the low 60s, I'd say, it was a little bit more risk-taking, and that's what gave us the extra goals. Now, yes, we lost 2. This is also partly due to an unbelievably high amount of individual errors, which I'm still trying to figure out if it's just down to specific players or just my inability to play, but I'm not worried too much about the goals against. 4 goals scored, a lot of chance creation, and that's exactly what we want to see going forward here in this episode, guys. Alright guys, this is going to be a banger of an episode. We've got games against Barcelona, Granada, and Sevilla coming up. All those teams are in the top 5, and if we want to get a top 4 spot, we have to get decent results. So this is going to be a huge episode. On top of everything, we also have 2 Europa League games, and if you look at the group standings, we're not doing too well here. We're second, tied on 4 points with Ferencvarosi, and that is our next game. So this is going to be crucial. If we can get a decent result here, I think we'll be safe. And honestly, after that 1-1 tie, I'm looking for some revenge here at home. So let's see if we can get a result here. Now, press after possession loss is not actually their system. I know that's what it says, but they really don't do it. It's more of a drop back low block system, and yeah, fast build up forward runs, fair enough. They do put the ball in behind and try to surprise you, and with how far we go up ourselves, that can be dangerous. So those are the 2 things real quickly that we need to watch out for. Now, with the additions of our loanees coming back, we have a little bit more breathing room in terms of squad composition, so this looks like a much stronger squad than the first time we met. We're also at home, and I'm just really hoping for a good result this time around.
Den un fuerte aplauso a los jugadores.
Right from the kickoff, I set it to team press, guys, and it paid dividends. We were on them like a pack of wolves, and we got an early chance. Moriba gets it. It's 1-0, guys, and this is exactly how I want to play against Ferencvarosi. Press them, make sure they make mistakes, and just go after them. And we were dominant throughout the first half, especially in the first 30 minutes. We were getting chance after chance. This one goes to Vas. Lucky deflection, but it's 2-0, guys. And this is where it starts getting really calm and easy to play in this system, because it's just like Guardiola when he plays with City. You get 1 or 2 early goals, especially against the so-called minnow clubs, and then they're really in trouble. They have to overexpose if they want chances. Now, we continue to just pummel them. I mean, this should have been a goal, a very nice chip, and we continue on the pressure. We get another chance here. This time it's saved by the goalkeeper. I'll give them credit. They did try to fight back. They got a few good chances in the first 10 minutes. I really couldn't get anything going. And they got a few shots, especially from distance. Nothing too crazy. Mamar made the save. And then they couldn't handle the pressure. One of their players just absolutely rash. He gets a red. He gets himself sent off. And from there, I mean, it's coasting. It was already pretty easy to play around them. But now with 10 men, I mean, it's no contest, right? We have really good passers, and we showed some really good creativity. Back heels all over the place. The goalie was saving their ass. I mean, it should have been maybe 3, 4, 5 quite quickly. But yeah, we showed some really good creativity. Vas got on the end of this one. He slides it in, makes it 3-0. I mean, it's a no contest, right? There's nothing much you can say. Ferencvarosi didn't really put up a fight in the end. We get the easy 3-0, and that's a good way to start the episode and just a good momentum builder before this game against Barcelona, guys. So I'm really happy for the result, and we are back on track in the Europa League. So it's great news. Okay, so mission accomplished against Ferencvarosi. However, we did grab an injury. Marcus Antonio pulled his hamstring, so he'll be out for 4 weeks. So it's actually really good that we brought in the loanees back. Musa can just seamlessly slide into his position, and it's going to be really needed here against Barcelona, guys. That is our next game, and this is one of the most exciting games in the entire season. I mean, what can I say? Slow build-up possession. Barcelona is synonymous with slow build-up possession, and this system really hasn't changed all that much over the years. You've got a really high depth, so they're going to be defending well into our own half, and they're going to try to disrupt us. Now, the way they set up in that 4-3-3 with the false 9 is classic. You've got Depay, who is sort of lingering in the midfield, dropping deep or drifting wide, and it's really hard to pick him up. The main beneficiary, obviously, Fati on the left-hand side with his pace. Now, obviously, Griezmann is out there on the right-hand side, but he has an instruction to stay wide, so he's also going to be getting switches of play and being one-on-one with his defender. That can really be dangerous as well. In terms of the midfield, obviously, you've got Gavi playing this more Iniesta role in an advanced position, trying to get forward, and De Jong in that Busquets role, recycling possession. It's classic Barcelona. Now, the area I feel like we can do most damage in is obviously in behind with a little bit more pace. Maybe there will be 1 or 2 opportunities because they push so high up. We can take advantage of that. And I feel like Lee and Musa out wide with their pace is perfect for that. Other than that, I don't want to change too much because I do want to impose my style of play and hold possession more. So I'm just doing that micro tactical change. Other than that, strongest starting lineup. Here we go, guys. It's not every day I can say that Barca didn't see the ball. We were that good in this first half. It was impressive. For the first 10-20 minutes, slightly pedestrian, maybe not enough penetration, but the way we were able to keep the ball from Barca, and they were pressuring us, but they couldn't get it. Now, they were doing very decently offensively. You can see there was a blocked shot there, but we had the possession. They touched it maybe a handful of times for the first 30 minutes. And we had a very similar opportunity to the first one here. Salinas turns, lays it off to Virman, and he powers it home, guys. It's 1-0 against Barcelona. They weren't able to block this shot, and my blood is pumping because we are up away at the Camp Nou against Barcelona, and we didn't stop there. Now, this is what happens when you're not tidy against possession against Barcelona. They use Fati with his pace. He runs in behind, and this is very dangerous. Silason makes a good save, or else it would have been 1-1, but that was literally the only chance Barcelona got, and one of the only times they saw the ball. Now, again, they were doing a very good job at blocking most shots, but João Mario gets it here. He slides it across for Salinas, and it's 2-0. What a start to this game. De Ketelaere occupied the CB. Salinas ghosted in, and he gets himself a goal. What a start to this game, guys. The second half was slightly a different dynamic because I didn't have to risk it. I have the result I want. Now, granted, we did have a few opportunities, especially with Musa and his pace, and the goalkeeper made a good save or two here, but there was no need for me to risk it. Now, Barcelona responded because they started to press me higher up, and they created one or two dangerous opportunities, but the tame finish didn't help them there. I really didn't need to do anything. The tempo slowed down. We made sure everything was safe, and Boscagli did a really good job at recycling play here, making sure that we always had possession. It was nice and comfortable, and we got this 2-0 result across the finish line, guys. And I was happy with playing, I'm not going to say anti-football, but just make sure you have possession, calm it down. We get the 2-0 win against Barcelona away. This is a massive result, guys, and I am so happy we were able to keep the amount of possession we did. It was a monumental win and a monumental statement. All right, guys, finally we're gaining some momentum here. That win against Barcelona was a statement win. It might not have been perfect, but the amount of possession we kept against Barcelona out of all teams was really encouraging. Now, before we continue on to our next game, I just wanted to give a quick update on Salinas here. So he finished his change of position, and now he's a center forward, guys. And the reason I did this is because the focus development plans for center forward are really interesting when it comes to Salinas. So first of all, I'm going to put him on penetrator, and it's going to increase some criminally low stats, finishing and composure primarily. And honestly, I'm not sure how he has 62 finishing. I mean, the man puts everything, literally everything in the back of the net. But we're going to increase it so he can be even more lethal, and it's going to help with some dribbling balance. It will also continuously improve both his speed and his short passing. So I feel like that's the perfect development plan for now, but playmaking forward Trequartista is one I'm going to look at for the future. For now, I just want him to get that finishing and composure up. That's my priority. Now we're going to turn to our next game of the episode against Granada, guys, and they are actually second in the league table right now, so this is going to be a very, very important game. They're doing really well so far in the season, and they have a very simple system. I feel like there's only two things you need to remember. So it's a drop back, fast build up, forward run system. So they're just going to sit back, perhaps not the lowest block you've ever seen, but they're going to sit back and then they're going to hit you hard on the counter. And if you look at their 4-4-2 system with the instructions and with the specific players they have, it's perfectly suited for them. They have a lot of pace in the squad, both out wide and at the striker position. You've got Martinez, who's going to be terrorizing you, getting in behind, and then you're going to have central midfielders getting forward and supporting like Monchu here. You've also got your bombing fullbacks and then your wingers cutting inside. So this is a very offensive system when it comes to the counter, and it can be very, very dangerous for us. We need to make sure that we keep possession and don't lose the ball cheaply. Now we're going to go again with the strongest possible lineup. These games are a little bit more sparsed out than at the beginning of the season, and I've been able to conserve some of the fitness and get a pretty much starting lineup here. Guillamon comes in for Beltran. Other than that, it is 100% ready to go here against Granada. Let's have it. Guys, I have to say, this team press, when done correctly, works like a charm. And anyone who's using a system that presses a lot needs to do that. We started this game off completely dominant. We were all over Granada. Thanks to that press, we were able to get the ball back. They just couldn't do anything. And we got chance after chance. De Ketelaere ghosts away from his marker here, and he just puts it in. It's 1-0, guys, and it's a flying start. And we didn't stop there. We continuously just pummeled these guys. They just couldn't get the ball. at all. And our creativity was on point this game. I mean, look at this. Joao Mario gets it here. He does one back pass. Salinas does another. De Ketelaere just slides it in. And what a beautiful goal for 2-0. I mean, this is just ridiculous. The amount of ball possession we had and the stuff we did with it was just something to behold. We continued to play good, and this is where I feel Salinas's finishing could use a little bit of an increase. He turns, he shoots, not enough finishing, not enough curve there, or else that would have gone in. And Granada really couldn't respond. They got one chance late on in the first half. It was a good volley, but Silason was on duty. The dominance continued well into the second half, guys, and I have to mention Wirman getting into these really good long shot positions. This one hits the crossbar. That could have been 3-0 right there, but we just continued to find every space there was to find. Guerri feeds Vega. He gets a shot, saved by the goalkeeper. It really could have been 3, 4, or 5-0 easily. Unfortunately, as the game went on, the errors started to creep in. They're still there, and then Granada got a decent chance here. We don't do well defensively. The defender doesn't come over. He nips it. It's all of a sudden 2-1, and it's starting to get shaky. Now, we managed to calm it down for most of the game, but we had a late scare. A good shot here. Silason makes a good save, and we get the result, guys. That's 3 wins in a row this episode. A big one against Granada. We move up the table, and we are doing fairly well here. We've rectified some of the areas. We've actually only lost 1 goal in the last 3 games. Now, I'm not sure how this is possible, but we've done a really good job at least shoring up the defense. We could still crank it up a little bit in terms of chance creation, but even that has been fairly good. All right, so we managed to get that win against Granada. However, it did come at a cost. Guillamon dislocated his shoulder. He's out for 2 months, and that could prove to be pivotal. We're going to have to deal with it. Games are coming thick and fast. Our next opponent is in the Europa League, and if you look at the group, if Ferencvarosi wins against Steaua and we lose this game against Nice, we're all at 7 points, and it's going to come down to that last game. We play Steaua, and after what I saw in the first game, I don't want to leave it that late. I want to handle our business, make sure that we at least get out of the group stage early. We need to get a good performance in here against Nice. It's not going to be easy. It's an away game. Not only that, it's a press after possession loss system, and Nice did it extremely well in the first game. We barely got a result there, and honestly, they're probably one of the best press after possession loss teams I've seen this series. It's not going to be easy at all, and compounding the issue is the fact that not only is Guillamon out, Beltran is not fit to play, so it's going to be a third man up. It's going to be Burlamaki at CDM, and this is going to be beyond crucial because if it's a press after possession loss system, he is going to be one of the guys getting pressed, and he's going to have an extremely clean and tidy game. There can be no giveaways of possession or Nice is going to torch us. So we'll see how he does. There's some more changes up front, quite a bit of rotation actually, but I'm hoping that we can get a decent result here. Honestly, I probably would take a tie at this point. Alright guys, here we go. The tactical battle begins and we go high press immediately. Team press, and it almost pays dividends, but this is how you beat it. And Nice did it very well. A series of one-touch passes, and all of a sudden there's a breakaway, a dangerous opportunity. Silason makes the save. Now we try to beat the press. Don't do it that well. We give it away there. We regain. We try to play a ball over the top. That doesn't work. So we were really struggling at beating Nice's press, and they were getting good opportunities. Silason had to be called time and time again. He makes a good save here off the corner. We finally regain our footing. And once you do beat the press, there's space to be had against a team like Nice. Wirman gets a good chance here. He dinks it, but it's saved. And then we just continue the press. I mean, we press the goalkeeper. That's how high we press. The defense is in disarray. Soler gets on the end of it. He surges into the box, and it's top bins, guys. 1-0. That is what I'm talking about. We need to capitalize on opportunities like this, and slowly we got more comfortable. And there's space to be had, especially with players like Musa running onto balls like this. We don't usually play counter, but if they're gonna press like this, that's the chances you're gonna get. If you're gonna play a high line like I do, you need people coming back. And if you're lethargic, especially to start a second half, this is what happens, guys. Nice makes it interesting. A great finish to put it at 1-1. And it all comes down to our guys just not coming back fast enough. It's unforgivable. But we continue to do good things when it comes to the press. And it worked like a charm against him. Lee gets a good shot here. Look at the determination of Salinas to get that second ball. And then we regain possession, we recycle it, and then no one picks up Wirman. I don't get what happened here. No one wanted to pick up Wirman. He just strolls into the box. Then no one picks up Lee. I don't know. The defense is in complete disarray. All of a sudden it's 2-1. I cannot explain that goal. I haven't seen anything weirder. But we continue winning the ball back, and then Lato surges into the box. Gozabales ghosts away from his man. He puts it away, guys. 3-1. It's all done and dusted. It wasn't that difficult in the end. The Nice defense was just suspect. They did really good in terms of getting the ball, getting out of the press, and then creating their chances. But when it comes to their defensive effort this game, it was pretty shoddy. I mean, that was really bad. But we get the result, guys. That's 4 wins now on the bounce in this episode, and we're going from strength to strength. It's good to see. Alright guys, so far 4 wins out of 4 for the episode. Now can we make it a perfect 5 out of 5? It's going to be a tough ask because we're facing Sevilla away from home, guys. What can I say? This might be a more difficult game than the Barca game. Pressure on heavy touch system with a 70 depth is going to be a little bit more in your face. This is a more proactive system in terms of the press, and it can be cumbersome. There are some more differences when you compare it to Barcelona, because instead of a false 9, they play a 4-3-3 with a target man. It's more of a focal point. The midfield is very similar because you've got Torres and that Iniesta role getting forward a little bit more. You've got Fernando in a little bit more of a Busquets role, recycling play. The biggest difference is the fullbacks, because they bomb forward. In Barca they didn't, and coupled with that pressure on heavy touch system, what it does and what it means is that they're going to try to win it high up the pitch, and then they're going to try to saturate you with numbers, whereas Barca relied a little bit more on their natural talent to get things done. Now we're going to just play our strongest starting lineup in terms of what we can play. Whoever's fit, it's not bad. Coindredi and Vas in the midfield, I'm going to trust them. I'm not 100% confident. Usually we've got Soler and Wirman in there, but they're going to have to step up to the plate and do the job. We need to get a good result here, guys. Let's make it a perfect episode in a tough game against Sevilla here. Let's go.
Tiene un estruendo especial. Ahí están los jugadores del Valencia.
Okay, I wanted to start off by showing a highlight of a play we run quite regularly and a chance we're able to reliably produce. So we move it from side to side. Eventually, one of the fullbacks gets it. He runs to the byline. The Kettler occupies the CB, and the intended target is actually Salinas. He gets a good shot off here. This time it's blocked, but we've actually had really good success. Now, for the most part, this game went according to plan, and there was a lot more counter opportunities than we're used to. Guerri gets one here. He puts it into the back of the net, guys. It's 1-0, a great start against Sevilla, but it wasn't going to be all that easy, and I knew Sevilla would have something to say about it. They put a lot of men forward, and they got a good chance here. Silasson makes a wonderful save, flying like a bird, and he continued to bail us out, guys. Another really good shot here. A nice save from Silasson, and they continued to press. And I mean, eventually, if you give them so many chances, they're bound to put something into the back of the net. Raul de Thomas is a really good finisher. He spins over here. This time he powers it past Silasson. Nothing we can do. Unfortunately, 1-1 going into the second half. We didn't let that affect us. We came out in the second half composed, and we showed that we're in top form. We can do this even if it's Sevilla away, and we got a good chance here. Again, we have kept possession so well in this episode. We move it around well. The Kettler gets it, spins, puts it into the top corner. Guys, it's 2-1, and we just did not look back from there. We continued to absolutely pummel Sevilla. We didn't let them have the ball, and if you don't have the ball, you can't create opportunities against me. João Mario gets another ride here. to the byline. It's laid off to Salinas. He gets a shot, and it's just chance after chance. And then eventually Vaz gets it. No one picks him up. And I mean, he just takes a look, and he puts it in the back of the net, guys. What a hit, son. What a hit that was. 3-1, and we're just not looking back. Like I said, we were having fun at this point. Sevilla didn't get the ball. We had good chance after good chance. Another distance shot. Lata gets it. And that's it, guys. We win. We make it a perfect episode. 5 wins. What a bounce back from the just turmoil times we had in the previous episode. We did so well, and we only lost, I think, 3 goals this episode? Such a good result. I wanted to thank everyone who supports me on Patreon, guys. It goes a long way to helping me continue my content creation. If you want to support me on Patreon, please do so, especially if you want to see more of the rule set. But in general, if you like this episode, please leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time, guys. Laters!